have certain areas that the bioaccumulation exceeds limits.
Is that what happened here?
Yes,
And you said that there are certain seasons when you cannot dump. And when you say, I'm sorry, when you say apply, do you mean like dump the sewage? Basically?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's what I don't follow.
Oh, you're good. Basically, they, depending on the unit they have, they either have a splash plate. If it's a side delivery, they can just open it up and drive. If it's rear delivery, they're supposed to have a splash plate where they drive and it scatters it.
Okay. And what's the importance of spreading and dumping while you move? Why is that so important?
That's essential so it doesn't accumulate, and these units can be anywhere from 1,000 gallons up to 4,000 to 5,000 gallons. I believe Mr. Miller's unit is 3,000 gallons, so essentially you can visualize 3,000 gallons going all the way across this room, or 3,000 gallons going in that chair.
Right. So if 3,000 gallons goes in one spot, is it going to drain properly?
No.
Is it going to filter properly?
No.
Is it likely to spread out to surrounding areas?
Yes, and in this case, there are two different bodies of water, essentially surface water that is direct to surface water, and these areas were being dumped in that manner is all on the spot, not spread.
And is that a hazard environment?
Yes, it leads directly to water, surface water in the state, thus having a much greater chance of polluting the park.
Ellen,
That's
you,
dead, that's dead. Well, that's dead. This,
Pass these.
this over here, I do not choose.
All right.
Green grass.
Just pass them to the
is where
jury.
it's spread out. So,
Mr. Worsham, I'm going to direct your attention to this TV screen over here. Can you tell me what we're looking at right here?
This is the land disposal site in question, and as you can see in the center where the really dark dead grass is, just below that, you start seeing a more of a whitish area, and that is the area that it's dumped. So, this area right here.
And the picture I just handed you, is that the same picture that's on the screen?
This one.
And did you take that picture? Right. So what is that whitish stuff?
That is the actual effluent from the pumps tanks.
And what is that?
Effluent is sewage.
Sewage?
Yes.
Okay. And does it look like it was properly applied or dumped right there?
No,
Okay, tell us why.
it's clearly dumped in one spot, not spread across the site.
Okay. Move back over here. Can you tell us what we're looking at right here? And I'm gonna pass you a hard copy as well.
This is again the same thing. Dead center of the picture, you can see large accumulation, the whitish area that is pumped and dumped at that spot.
Do you mind flipping that around and pointing to the picture on the jury? And showing it to them? Okay, all right. And then, and same process here.
This again is a little bit more evident of the sewage being pumped and dumped and not spread. This one little area right here, along with feminine products involved in with it.
And are those pictures that you took during your investigation of Mr. Miller's site?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to submit those as a collective exhibit
Well,
and then, have grants for juries so they can, and then real life look. Tell us about, explain about the feminine products that you can see there. Why is that coming out? Why is that mixed in with, I guess, the sewage part?
Because they are disposed of a lot of times in a household into their septic system. So naturally, when you pump it, those will come with it. Also, numerous times you'll find needles and any other products that come from flush. And it is okay to do that as it is, but it has to be spread. This is one reason these areas have to be gated, locked, as well as have sign of keep out, which inside is not been gated until recently.
And so if a site doesn't drain properly, like Mr. Miller's was not draining properly, is that right? And those needles, feminine products, other trash wash back onto people's property.
It is possible.
And did you see that in
Yes,
this case?
yes,
And did you take a video of that?
yes, I did. Easement that goes down, between that is backfill road, which is an easement to, I believe, 3 or 4 properties. And the property itself, does not start till you get around that little curve. But this is an easement that multiple people have access to, this all property.
So it's not on the dump site yet.
It's not anywhere near the,
Is there sewage on that easement though?
yes, correct.
In fact, is there an entire trail of sewage?
Yes, and they went
trash.
all the way to the highway.
Is it supposed to be like that?
No.
What would cause that?
Most likely a poorly maintained pump vehicle or not cleaning the pumper lines, possibly, but most likely it is a poorly maintained valve that is hung open and additional sewage is coming out as he's leaving the property.
And have you seen all the pictures that were provided by Mr. Cates?
Yes,
So are you familiar with the one where it looks like a big stain in the middle of the highway?
yes,
Is that supposed to happen on the trail?
no.
Okay. All right. And what would cause that leakage?
Again, the same thing, a poorly maintained rear valve.
And is there any part of a pumper truck that is just water?
Yes, most of them do contain fresh water, tank involved with it. That's when they pump a tank, a lot of times, a lot of the solids stay in the bottom, so they will pump water back into it to loosen that, pump it back out. to clean
Should
the
that
tank.
water leak out?
No.
Does it normally leak out?
No,
Like, is it contained in its own box?
sometimes it's part of the tank altogether and separate chamber inside of it, some separate chamber on the side of it.
But eventually it mixes in with the solid stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Permission.
Now, after y'all sent Mr. Miller the letters telling him, you don't have a valid permit to pump. You don't have a valid permit to, I guess, apply, dump. Did he take any action that you know of to fix it?
I know he did approach our office, our central office and my personal office, but not with her.
Would y'all have issued him a permit while this case was pending?
No, once legal action is sought, we do not issue a new permit until legal action or the judicial process.
And since this case has been going on, has Mr. Miller, in fact, been operating his business?
Yes,
Did you receive more video or picture of him?
yes, multiple times within the year of 2024, and as much as even up till last Thursday.
So it's And he's aware that he does not have a permit. Y'all sent him the letters.
Yes,
Have they come back in the mail as unreturned? Okay, so no, we haven't gotten anything that says no such, person lives here, return to sender, nothing like that.
correct.
And he has, you said that he had called the office, so he knows, he's aware that he does not have a license, a valid license.
Correct.
I've got a copy.
What are we looking at there?
This is the notice of violation that we issued this previous Friday, once we realized, and received another video of Mr. Miller operating his vehicle. Then, we had word that he was dumping his, sewage at the Clarksville wastewater plant. We called, confirmed with Clarksville wastewater plant. They were unaware that Mr. Miller did not have active license, and we made them aware of that. And then this violation, this second multiple violation came out of that.
Would you say that this is not a mistake, the way that he's disposing of it?
I believe it's not safe.
Has he been doing this for long enough to know how to properly?
I believe so.
And I submit that as an exhibit, Your Honor, that letter.
You make that video
I'm going to, I got one more, I'm gonna bring it in just a minute.
this time.
Did y'all contact Mr. Miller trying to do an inspection to see what was going on at the site?
Once we issue the NOP, it is up and always truly is up to the owner itself. They know every single year, January 1st, there's to be this year, they are now non-permanent. They must contact us, we set up a time, we inspect the truck, and then if they have a land disposal site, that's when we meet on their land disposal site, inspect that at the same time to approve their permit for it.
So you would inspect the truck and the land at the same time?
Correct.
And that way you would know if the valve on the truck was working, right?
Yes, and the disposal site is maintained properly.
So did he allow you to come inspect the land?
There was no communication in between to have that.
Okay, and when are the wet seasons?
Generally in the state of Tennessee, our wet seasons start most of the time November through March in general.
And these videos were taken in January,
Correct.
and is that a proper time period to dump on a land site?
It is if the site is available and not inundated with water as you see through large puddles and heavily rutted areas on site.
Thank you, Your Honor. On that video we just watched, what are we looking at?
That is effluent that has been risen from the pumper unit going out towards highway on Backfield Road.
So-
At the current moment.
And is affluent sewage,
Yes,
and that's coming from Mr. Worsham's site, is that correct? Okay. And you took that video, is that
Yes.
correct? Your Honor, I'm gonna submit that as part of the collective exhibit.
But
And were there ruts in the ground in that video?
Yeah.
Right, is it too wet to dump?
in my professional opinion, yes.
Did you take that video?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you see any ruts in that video?
Why,
And what was, collected water or sewage some of those drugs?
I would water it.
And when you say that he's not spreading it, when you say spread, do you mean like a sprinkler, like it's supposed to be continuous spray?
Yes,
Okay,
it's continuous flow as the vehicle is in motion.
so dumping little piles is not spreading, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And have you seen the video provided by Mr. Cates of the truck of Mr. Miller actively applying?
Yes,
Okay. Is he supposed, what is he supposed to be doing in that video?
the vehicle is to be maintained in motion at all times while spraying.
And is the vehicle moving?
No. And the one thing on this video is he is dumping outside of his permitted area and off his property under the TVAs at that time.
At that time?
Yes,
And did you know that until you were videoing?
correct. That,
You discovered it that day?
yes.
Okay. Is there anything else about this video that you think we can know about?
If you notice the vegetation when we got back to the disposal area, this was in, I believe, in March. It's not necessarily time for us to have greenest grass in the world. It was heavily green with everything around it, completely brown. That is indicative of overloading and extremely high nitrogen and smoke.
Turner, this is the disc for the collective video exhibit.
What?
Is there anything else about your involvement in this case and the violations that came from it that you think could be missed?
These sites are very rare and very regulated due to their ability to harm human beings through surface waters or just contact with this itself. And
Will it be regulated? Will it be permitted again validly, this site? I'll pass.
Well, Mr. Miller, again, you have the right to ask a question, but you're not required to. You'll be given your opportunity to testify if you choose. And your questions must be in question form. Do you have any questions for this witness? Then come to the podium and ask it in question form, please.
So you sent me a certified letter on the second February the first.
no, sir, the first one was January 19th.
Oh, I also got one from Jeanette over you. This is from Jeanette. Sent that after you sent me one. Jeanette says here. If there's any discussion of the letter, call 615-687-7000. That's your number. I called his 3 or 4 times. I called you 5 or 6 times before I got a hold of you. You remember talking to me?
I've never talked to you on the phone, to my recollection, so.
What I figured. Okay. Do you know a Tiffany J. Spear?
Yeah.
Works in your office beside it, don't you?
No, sir,
Not now, but she did.
at this time you are correct.
I talked to her multiple times, trying to get a hold of you until I got you. I did talk, and you talked to me.
Again, Mr. Miller, you're making statements rather than asking questions, and you're not.
Well, it is a question.
You got a question is where he has to give you a response. You're making a statement that you're saying you did talk to him, and I'm going to give you that chance to testify, and you can testify about what you think happened. But right now, you just must ask him a question.
I got a hold of Tiffany. And Tiffany said, well, I know he's in his office.
So is that a question?
That's a question. I'm gonna in return, see what he says about what his secretary told him. Is that okay?
Well, ask the question that is actually a question. You're making a bunch of statements and then you ask the question, are you asking him a question about whether or not he talked with you on the phone?
Okay. I talked to you on the phone. On the 22nd of December. And I talked to Tiffany and she sent two.
Mr. Miller, you understand what a question is?
Yes, the question is him talking about he's never talked to me about me not having a permit to spread out there on my sewage out there on my land. I'm going to answer his answer with evidence here that he did.
Okay, well, ask it in the form of a question. You're going to be allowed to testify when you can make statements. But right now, you can't make a statement unless you're saying that you're asking him a question.
Who's authorized to go to a job site to inspect the land, the truck for leaks, the land for litter, the truck for leaking, and all, and pass that truck? Whose job is that to do that?
Any employee of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation that has a approval letter from the commissioner to do so.
That's the way it's always been. For about 20-something years since I've been doing it. And Clarksville was in office. They was taking care of Stewart County. They took over in 2008.
Is that a question?
Here's a question, ain't that right?
I'm aware of that time that was before my employment.
Okay. Well, anyway, Jeanette, he was inspector at Clarksville at that time. Everybody in Stewart County knows Jeanette. Anyway, he come down, Daniel came down every year, checked my truck for leaks and everything. And so when I called up there, in 2022, that office wasn't there anymore. Nobody did put that in. So I finally got a hold of you.
Are you asking a question?
I'm asking a question.
Then ask a question. You're making statement after statement after statement, and you need to make a question.
My question is, I got a hold of Tiffany and she sent a Sarah Lupson and another little lady, 26 years old, that didn't know nothing about regulations, to check my truck.
Is that a question?
When I talk, it's a question. And this is my question to you. When they didn't show up, I talked to Tiffany and she said, well, I'll send them again. And I've got where she sent me and them to this to check my truck on my property.
that be that?
And it says.
Well, he's not making it an exhibit and it's hearsay anyway, so.
And Miller wants to be out there when y'all check. It's documented here with her name on it. And so, but when she finally got a hold of you, I asked you, I said, they ain't been out. And you said, well, it ain't nobody can check.
You cannot
that truck
repeat,
except me.
Mr. Miller, you cannot just sit here and repeat a conversation because that,
For another
listen to me, okay? You've had the opportunity to hire a lawyer and you haven't hired one, so I have to enforce the same rules against you as I would against a lawyer. And a lawyer and you, be quiet, a lawyer and you are not permitted to just simply on cross-examination, make statement after statement after statement, say what you want to say and never ask a question. You're making statements and repeating supposedly statements by another person that is in violation of the hearsay rule. So I am instructing the jury to disregard everything that you're saying that's not in form of a question, because under the law, you cannot just simply do this.
I understand what you're saying. I just got one more thing to say, and that's about the evidence he's got. These wet places on these roads and the land that I was.
Are you going to ask a question of this witness about that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask him a question. Let's see how I can say this. The greener the grass is on the right-hand side of that road, right there, I own 30-something acres. And I've only got 1 acre that I can spread on legally. And that's where my pump truck was, and I've also got concrete tanks out there that hold about 4,000 gallons. And then I paid my dues in 23.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you are to disregard everything that he's saying right now because he is not asking a question and he is not following the court's instructions. So you're not to consider as evidence anything that Mr. Miller is saying right now. So Mr. Miller, you're wasting your time and the court's time and the juror's time when you don't ask a question.
Can I explain something? Then I'll be.
No, you cannot just stand there and explain something. You can explain it when you come and take the witness stand and testify.
Okay.
But as far as you standing on cross-examination.
Yeah, let me do that. It'll be a whole lot easier.
Well, and I'm sure it would be clearer anyway, so.
Yeah, and I got evidence that
We'll
explains everything that I'm saying.
We'll let you get to that. All right. Do you have any questions for this? Mr. Worsham, let me ask this question. If I understood correctly, and this is for my benefit, a person can only spread on their own land if they have a permit from your office.
A land disposal, a domestic disposal land application.
All right.
Correct.
And while this land had a permit, it expired in 2019.
That was the last time it was valid, was 2019 and been fully inspected.
Without a permit, were they legally allowed, would anyone be legally allowed to spread on the property?
No, sir.
Is there a site, just a sanitation site, or what do you want, a water treatment plant in Stewart County, Tennessee?
There is one, but they do not accept domestic septic. So someone here would have to either have a land application site or possibly go to Clarksville wastewater plant or Dixon's wastewater plant would be the closest ones.
All right. And any questions for this witness after my questions? All right, thank you. You can step down.
So,
What is the state's proof, Your Honor?
State has rested their proof, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break for lunch right now until 1 o'clock. So I would remind you of my instructions. When we come back, we'll proceed with the rest of this proof. and then hopefully you'll be able to start deliberating, but, 1 o'clock, and I would remind you, don't talk about it, don't think about it, don't do any research about it, and don't let anybody talk to you about it. And try not to think about sewage while you're having lunch. So,
Yes, they can go to the restaurant across the street too.
well, Mr. Ethan, our clerk, has arranged for you all to eat lunch across the way. He doesn't do this for me, but he'll do it for you as you can go across to the Dover Cafe and have lunch on Mr. Gray. So you want to do that, or you can go anywhere you want to, but when you come back, gather in the jury room, and again, don't talk about this case until then. Thank you. 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll hold everybody up. If that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right, shut that door if you will, please. Mr. Miller, I am required by law to take one other step, and that is to ensure that you understand your rights regarding your own testimony. So if you'll come to the podium and let me go ahead and have you placed under oath. Need you to come up to the podium. Raise your right hand and let the clerk place you under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Miller, I want to make sure that you understand, and I do this for every person who's a defendant that's going to testify. Do you understand, number one, that you have an absolute right under the Constitution to decline to testify in a criminal proceeding? Under the Fifth Amendment, you have every right to simply say, I choose not to testify. And if you choose not to testify, the jury will not be instructed, will not be able to infer anything because you didn't. There won't be any instructions that that's culpable or that you're guilty because you didn't testify. And no one can make you testify if you choose not to. Do you understand that? Do you also understand that you have an absolute right to testify if you want to in your own behalf, and that if you want to testify, no one can stop you from doing that? Do you understand that part? You understand that when you testify, I will be required to enforce the rules of evidence and the rules of the criminal procedure, the same as if you had a lawyer asking you a question. And that means that you will not be allowed to get up and testify about something that somebody told you other than the witness that testified, Mr. Worsham, that testified. You can testify about something you and he may have discussed, but you're not going to be allowed to testify about what other people have told you, because that constitutes what we call as hearsay. You understand that? All right. You understand everything I've explained to you?
Yes.
You want to, do you?
The only two that I want is the two witnesses.
That's fine. And you can testify about what the two witnesses have said. That's not a problem. But having thought about this, do you wish to testify when we come back after lunch?
Yes.
All right.
Everything that I'll testify to will be the papers that I got from,
All right.
that was sent to me, and the regulations that, what's his name was talking about.
All right. Well, then we're going to break for lunch until 1 o'clock. Be back here at 1 o'clock and we'll let you testify. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All rise. I'd like to explain the first witness at the moment. He was talking about where I was spreading that. He was having water problems, like wanting to go to his house and sewage and this and that. First thing, nobody in any county has anything to do, like he said, that B did calling him out there to look at. The only one is the soil scientist that wrote out that land I got out there, drew it out. He is the only one that can do it. Trying to test many paperwork. I'm trying to find. Oh, I have page of the land that I own out there. There it is. In other words, the soil scientist, when he draws out, when he perks the ground, he draws it out and signs it and certifies. Nobody, no sheriff, nobody can stop anybody from spreading sewage out there on
That hearing had a
land.
little bit of everything. The state wrapped up its case against Corbett Miller Jr. with testimony from Environmental Officer Joel Worsham, whose photos and videos showed sewage being dumped in concentrated piles rather than spread properly across permitted land. He explained in detail why that matters. Thousands of gallons poured into one spot can overload the soil, seep into surface water, and even leave behind items like feminine products or needles that sometimes make their way through household systems. The videos also showed sewage trailing down easements and even pooling on public roads, which Worsham attributed to a poorly maintained truck valve. He confirmed Miller's permit expired in 2019, and that the law requires ongoing inspection and compliance that had not occurred. Cross-examination by Miller, representing himself, again turned into a series of statements rather than proper questions, and the judge had to repeatedly remind him that testimony comes later. At one point, the judge instructed the jury to disregard Miller's comments when he strayed too far into argument. By the close of the state's proof, Miller was sworn in and advised of his constitutional right not to testify. He confirmed he would take the stand after lunch, saying he intended to rely on paperwork and regulations he believed supported his case. The judge handled the back and forth with patience, firmly enforcing courtroom procedure while ensuring Miller understood his rights. The overall atmosphere was orderly but tense, as the court prepared to shift from the state's structured case to Miller's more unpredictable self-representation. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.